Hey everybody, it's Professor Lusheen. This is Safety 481, Week 7. This is an overview video. On the screen, you can see our Canvas page. First thing I want to point out, if you haven't already, please go into this link and register for your time. I want to thank Kelsey, Justin, Jason, and Matthew for already doing that. It is Sunday morning. So the rest of you need to sign up here. If we need to pick a time outside of these evenings this week, please let me know. Thank you. All right, got that out of the way. I'll also be following up with all of the mentors that you all were supposed to interview last week. Some had to do it this week due to scheduling conflicts, and so I'll be getting that information as well. And so this week, again, I want to meet with each of you. And it can be Sunday the 10th. I mean, if that's what we push it back to, that's what we push it back to. That's fine. I'll talk about the content or plans for those meetings. So this is the presentation. This is the video. Oh, sorry. Jeez. So let's take a quick look at the agenda, and then we'll get to the presentation very soon. So this week is the fair. For those of you who are going to be attending either virtually or in person, the majority is going to be built around that. Second, for everybody, we've got the lesson this week is ethics, and I've been fortunate enough to work with Brad Giles, and he put together this presentation called Cowboy Ethics, which I think is very it's a practical approach to it, and it really resonates with Brad's personality, which I think makes it even better. So take notes both on this video and the video with Brad. I also want you to write up your expectations for ethics and practice, okay, as part of this. I'll show you what the problem solving is for this week. It has to do with safeguarding a press. Also, the scissor lift that's used for feeding material. And then for your update, again, it's going to be the experience of the fair goers. For the non-fair goers, I'm going to assign you a mentor to interview this week. It'll be a recent graduate of the program. I've had some trouble getting in contact with them because I had to use LinkedIn. I will be assigning those no later than Tuesday, and it'll just be a short phone call like previous, and I'll be providing some format for the interview, but again, you can customize it to your needs. There's only one reading. It's a paper called Ethics in Occupational Health. Otherwise, you'll be kind of finding your own readings, and it has to do with the safeguarding assignment. So for this week, the binder notes I want you to keep are for the two videos, mine and Brad's. Once you review this paper and reflect on ethics, I think that would be the most important. I'm going to talk a little bit about something I did last week here in a bit. For problem solving, it's a hydraulic press safeguarding assignment. For PPDP, it's the fair or interviews, and then I'll be meeting with all of you this week. Okay? So that's the basic agenda, very simple. And everything here. I'll be scoring this. There is no upload needed for this. If there is, I will change it. No. And it's just worth 20 points. I want to point that out, that the full binder assignment is worth 100 points. So this is just 1/5 of it. This is an overview to look at it, and I'll give you feedback then. And then at the end of the semester, I'll be grading it similarly, but it'll be a full 80 points there. Just so everybody understands the scoring of it. Let's see what else. This is where you upload your notes and summary and reflection. Here's Brad's presentation. It's recorded on WebEx. I'm sorry about that. We had done it live last spring. It's very good. I mean, he's presented many, many times. This is the most recent, and I think it's good. Here's some of the other documents he had provided, and here's the paper I want you to read and summarize. Here's the machine guarding. I've got pictures and movies, and I've also got the assignment. So I'm trying to be a little bit clearer on things. Here's a picture of it. We've got 3 in the plant that are like this. And here's the big problem. Here are the 2 problems you're going to be talking about. So we have a 2-hand actuator for hydraulic press, plus we have a hand pullback mechanism. Seems like a redundancy. Why do we have both? Can we get rid of one of them? And if so, what are the requirements? That's basically it. Watch the videos and pictures. Read everything you can about SAFE. hydraulic press operation from OSHA, ANSI, other resources. I had recommended to my Section 1 to check out Rockford Systems. They're very, very good at machine safeguarding. Pretty much, I would say, one of the industry best. It talked about how we don't really keep documentation on adjusting the hand pullback. Yeah. And then there is a second issue. And this is going to be like a 2-page write-up, just so you all know. I'm starting to put limits, requirements on that, because some of you are writing too brief. Remember, presentation is important. Also, there is a scissor table, and it goes up and down. And does that need to be guarded? Or are you allowed to have something that goes up and down in which somebody could either place something there or stand near there and possibly get caught in or crushed? I'm wondering what to say. And then upload that 2-page paper, 2-page summary here. All right. And we'll be meeting this week, so we can talk about it then too. So let's go through the presentation real quick. This will not take long. Just have a few things I want to kind of cover with you all. So first, for the career fair, some of you, again, are in person. Some of you are doing the virtual. I appreciate that. Here's the, it's just 11 to 2. For the virtuals, you don't have to go from 11 to 2. You're going to be meeting with certain groups. For those of you who are going face-to-face, you don't have to be there from 11 to 2. I want you to come in and meet with the groups or the companies that you researched and are interested in. And then for those people who do that, I want you to provide a review of your experience, who you met with, how you prepared, and how you plan to proceed. How are you going to use what you learned and experienced in the future? For those of you who cannot attend, either virtually or face-to-face, I'm going to be assigning a mentor. And I think I've got 3 who have already said they'd like to do it. I think I need 2 more, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll sign those by Tuesday at the very latest, Tuesday morning. And you'll call and I'll provide some form of a script or what I want you to basically get out of it. But then what I want you to do is, based on your interview and what you learn, I want you to share what you learned from them, yes, but then also write about your approach to job searching, application, and interview prep. So some of you are asking, you've asked me and you've been kind of curious why. This is an analysis and design class. It's a senior design. Why are you covering this stuff? Because when I was a student in chemical engineering, I didn't receive any of this. And when I graduated, I was ill-prepared. And that led to 2 or 3 of the toughest months, I think, in my life, because, I wasn't equipped. I didn't know what to do. I had to kind of figure out on my own. And so I'm trying to expose you and give you an opportunity to, develop an approach, to test some of your assumptions, to try things out, just to ensure that you don't land in the same position I was in. Because again, that was really tough. Some of you said that, I already have a job, I'm already working. Yeah, well, what are you going to do when you don't? Or when you need to move on? This is the time that I want you to kind of find what are the best ways to make yourself, put yourself out there, to see what's available, things like that. That's why we're doing this. In many ways, this is analysis and design of your career. That's how I see it. It's evaluating and coming up with a plan to find that next job, or to find a job that's better, or whatever it might be. It's very aligned with what we're talking about. It's just the context is a little bit unorthodox. So that's my answer for that. Let's talk a little bit about my week. So I'm starting to get back into, I'm getting better at my journaling and my reflection, and I had a big week. So, as I've said previously, at April Air, my time is nearing an end. Though I shouldn't speak so soon because there's been a new development. But I was in there on Monday and Friday of this week. This next week is just going to be Monday, maybe Wednesday afternoon, depending. But working with the new safety specialist, he's doing a fantastic job. He's really getting in there. He's working through the original, what would you want to call it? Growing pains that one goes through. Mine took a little bit longer to figure out. Mine was a couple months, but I was only in there part-time. He's there full-time. He's doing a great job adjusting. He's adjusting well. Also hosted a couple A&D students who came in. This is my section 1, and they did their data collection. So that was really cool. They're well on their way for their first case study. I also did some research. This was I think it was a full day in which I did research and put together a safety proposal for testing a new vanishing oil or lubricant to reduce oven fumes. Took it both from a spill containment, a personal protective equipment, potential fire hazard, and finally a health concern. And so I put in the orders, and those orders were being filled this week. So as soon as that all gets filled, then they can go and order the barrel, and we'll test it. The idea is that if there's nothing on the meshed or the slitted metal when it goes into the oven, then it can't come off as a fume, which is what we're currently dealing with. We received our second threatening letter from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Everybody's kind of freaking out. I said, I'll take care of it, and I did. I went in there, got into the system, entered the information they needed, and we're good. Yeah, no more letters. There would have been a third, and then the fourth would have been scary. And I did get in, confirmed that we got in all of our environmental management stuff. We have a tier 2. We had our air emission inventory. And I thought there was one more that we got in, but we got it all done. It was due March 1st. We just had to turn in, I just had to submit a few updated contact information. That was done. So that stuff's done. And I had turned in my OSHA 300As over a month ago. And the updated copy is posted. And I did also submit the second phase for a corporate safety award through the Wisconsin Safety Council because our numbers were good last year. Yeah. What else did I do? I updated the February safety report. The new guy, he's like, could you take care of it? And so I did. And I'm transitioning it to his comfort level. And that may take a couple more weeks, but he's picking everything up really well. Also followed up on a few work comp issues. I had received some emails from some claims reviewers and taking care of that. And I'm trying to get the new guy updated on that too. Also, we had a few complaints that I went and looked at. On Friday, I found myself 15 feet off the floor up on an extension ladder, closing off a leak from an exhaust vent. I think it may have been coming back in. The symptoms people were giving me, I knew what the chemical was, and so I sealed that up. Yeah, so cool. And then also, I have next week's problem solving. What is the required minimum width of an aisleway for a powered industrial truck? Because we're moving equipment around a lot. Things are changing, and so I've been asked to look that stuff up. It's fairly simple. Let's see. Do that next week. What else have I been doing? We are in week 8 of my youth archery instruction at Stoughton Conservation Club, and so I had to go through and submit all the orders for t-shirts. That took quite a bit of time, but I got that done, and we're all set for that now. This week's lessons went very smoothly. The kids are doing really well. They're taking my commands. So we've got one more week of practice, and then we've got the fun shoot in which they shoot at 3D targets and balloons and other obstacles for prizes. So then that'll be done. Cool. I had my annual checkup and blood work. I never look forward to that, but I finally got it all done. Got all my vaccines updated and everything. It's just that's always a stressful thing. Did a bunch of tax prep. Got some other financial stuff done. Attended a kids' practice. I've got an end of the season banquet here in a little bit. Attended the Kobe strategic planning meeting and got some more things ready for our department meeting next week. Got some cool things on the horizon, just letting you guys know. I'm working on updating the qualified academic program paperwork for the master's degree here. Dr. Vosberg turned it over to me, and I've got a few more things to do, along with updating a few other documents. Oh, I didn't even put on here. Made some strides towards the work I'm doing with a graduate student in the program for his thesis, and I know that I have to write that up this afternoon too. What else? I've got the regional operations meeting coming up in early April. Got all that information out to all of the chapters. I registered. I got to reserve my hotel yet, but got that moving. Also reminded them that they have to, there's a deadline of Friday to sign off for their web hosting. Region 5 is the only one that was 100% at the end of business on Friday, so I'm very proud of that. Thank you, chapter leaders. You guys are awesome. Also had a core meeting in which we kind of talked about a bunch of stuff too. And finally, and this is going to lead into the ethics discussion. Next slide. I submitted a formal complaint for a person who I think violated a standard operating guideline for ASSP. I was afraid to do it because it may be detrimental to maybe some upcoming opportunities for me. But in driving into work, I put myself through it and I said, you know what? This is the right thing to do. There is a definite violation here. And so I submitted my report and it was accepted. And so I will find out this week how that affects me. Who knows? I don't have any skin in the game really for the complaint. It's not me that's being treated inequitably. It's somebody else. Someone who I don't even know. How about that? I don't even know this other person, but I'm standing up for them. I think that's the best time to do it. So let's talk about ethics now. So I've got a recording from Brad Giles. That's him right here. Here's his LinkedIn thing. I would like you guys to maybe reach out to him. And he kind of makes me feel like, the characters in Yellowstone. I don't know if you guys watch that show. I love that show. Here's Rip. I think this is John. It feels like he's very much, this is the right thing to do, so I'm going to do it. I don't care what happens to me. And I think it's a great thought. Please keep detailed notes of his presentation. He is way too humble and modest. The guy is amazing and will do anything for anybody as long as it's, right. I believe he is the standard by which we should measure safety professionals. His ethics, again, I'm seeing some people doing professional ethics presentations, and I'm like, hey, I've met you, and I know some things you've done and some things you've said. You should not be teaching this class. He is he walks the walk before he talks the talk. I hate saying that, but that term, I don't like that term, but he is amazing person, really. I'm going to ask this for you. This should be important to you. I would appreciate it if you would, send maybe a personal message to Brad if you're going to connect with him on LinkedIn, or even find his email and just thank him for sharing the presentation, and definitely thank him for his service to the profession. He put his career on the line several times that maybe he didn't talk about fully in the video. The guy is someone to look up to because he's always there for you. It's hard to say. I think that there's fewer and fewer people like that in the world. He's such a supporter, a promoter of education, learning, and especially Whitewater. He speaks highly of us. And that's just, based on limited exposure I've had to him and worked with him. He's just a phenomenal person. Great guy. So please do that. We're lucky to have him cover this topic. It's like the expert. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. I haven't been pushing it really heavy up until now. I did some stuff. It's Sunday morning right now, and I put some work in yesterday on this in preparation for this presentation. So here was my original. I took a picture in week 1. I thought I had so week 1, Sunday, January 21st. So I guess we're only about 6 weeks. It's week 7. We're 6 weeks from there. My impressions that week were low. I had 116. My followers were 3207. I had 181 profile viewers in the last 90 days, and I showed up in 85 searches the previous week. Okay, and then here's some of the hashtags I've been using. So I upgraded this. This is a picture of the stadium on the Whitewater campus. I can't remember the name of it. I had it in my mouth and then it's gone. But I thought it was kind of cool. The lighting's kind of cool, so I put that in there. I updated my heading or title here to graduate coordinator. In addition to associate professor, that's what I used to say, EHS professional scientist, analytics enthusiast. I added my position with April Air as well. It's about time, right? As it's coming to a close. So here are my analytics from January 21st. Here are my analytics from Saturday, March 2nd. So post impressions previous 7 days went from 116 to 1,485, but it's even down from what I had the week before. Because the week before I was talking about my presentation up at Fox Valley, and so I got a lot of impressions from that. My followers, I've gone up 30 in the last 40 days or something. Not bad. Profile views went from 181 to 171, so went down a little bit. My appearance in searches went from 85 to 94. So I showed up in more just because I think of the posts I had made for that presentation. One thing here is the recommendations. I'm gonna start working on this. I'll talk about this next week, but I'm gonna ask some select few people to write a recommendation for me. I haven't had one since 2014. Andrew's a great guy. We had met and done some work outside of class, and so he did that. That was very nice of him. So then this morning, I posted the LinkedIn self-generated this announcement after I'd put information about Aprilaire, and I adjusted it a little bit. I added, because it's especially coming to a close, I wanted to thank my boss, the 2 HR people who brought me in and have been supporting me. And then I wanted to just give a shout out to, the new guy and Corey, who I've been working with the last year. And so it said starting a new position, but it's just announcing it because I had posted it. Lo and behold, get up this morning. It's got almost 1,500 impressions. Lots of people have been commenting. 10 comments as of whenever it was this morning. Not even 24 hours went by. So I went from 1485 to 2667 in 17 hours. Less than 24 hours. My followers went up a few more. Profile views went up substantially from 171 to 206. Searches are still the same. So followers only went up by 1. So a lot of people. So this is under 24 hours. This was a Saturday to a Sunday. I didn't expect this. I just wanted to get in and start playing around. Kind of cool. Kind of neat. I don't know. You guys can do that stuff too. I kind of looked back at my notes, and based on the earlier searches that I had done, and this is just a copy from week 1 actually, and this is for internships, but I looked at some safety director stuff, and I added some skill language to my position at Aprilaire, and I think that's going to definitely increase my weekly numbers. So if you haven't already, please start updating your LinkedIn profile each week and tracking your numbers, such as your likes, comments, reposts, and original posts. I just go off and do it quite a bit, but it's hard to argue with the data that I just provided. That was really, it kind of blew me away. And we could probably look at it in a little bit, and it would probably be even higher. But let's keep going with this. So the case study for this week, machine safeguarding. We've got 3 of these hydraulic presses. We've got 2-hand actuators and hand pullbacks. It seems like a redundancy. So what I want you to do is consider why they would have these redundancies. Obviously, this came with the design of the machine. This is probably something a little bit later. Why would you need both? Under what conditions could a 2-hand actuator not require a 2-hand pullback to prevent people from putting their hands into the press while it's operating? So that's what I want to know. The other is we've got this scissor lift right here. This table goes up and down, scissor table, and they bring on the materials that way, so I don't have to lift them. And this goes up and down as a scissor. And so is it possible that somebody could have something crushed, either a body part or materials could be crushed on here as it goes up and down? Does this need to be guarded? Does the under part of a scissor table need to be guarded? Those are the 2 questions. And so we've got the assignment. I think I've got it on the next page. So watch the videos, pictures, do your own research, read about it. I want you to write a minimum 2-page, so it can be more than 2 pages, a short review of the function of a hydraulic press and safety issues common to them, problem statement regarding the use of 2 safeguarding devices. Your methods are going to be basically your review or analysis approach. Your results are what you find, your conclusions, recommendations, and your list of references. OSHA has things, Rockford System has things, ANSI has things. So I want you to put together a report. And you could use pictures or snapshots from the videos too. I recommend it. And kind of put together. And I provided a bunch of objectives here. Yeah. So see what you can do. This week, I'm going to be meeting with all of you one-on-one. Not everybody is signed up yet. Please do so. We'll be reviewing your binder or portfolio. If you remember in week 1, it's over here. We had a demo video on how to use OneNote to do that. Hopefully you guys have been using that. So I'll review what you have. Again, I'm going to score it out of 20 points. Even though this is out of 50, I'll modify it because the one we do at the end will be worth 80 points. So this is just 1/5 of your overall course binder grade because it's a progress assessment to make sure everybody understands. We'll discuss your plans for the first case study. Again, my other section, they're well into theirs. Some of them have already collected the data. The data. Wow. The data, and they're already working on that. The other ones, I have to generate some information for them to complete that, due in like 3 weeks or something like that. I want to find out what your plans are for summer and then discuss LinkedIn and networking. So that's what our call is going to be about, our WebEx. Okay. So any questions, let me know. If you haven't already, keep weekly notes of your work in progress, like things I've been talking about this week. Keep weekly documentation of your planning efforts, keep weekly stats, and list efforts for LinkedIn and networking. Take time to reflect, apply to your week. I did that a lot this last week, the week before. I think it's probably because I'm still recovering from this horrible cold. I just can't kick it, man. Make sure you're organizing your documents, or organize and document. When I was super busy, I wasn't really getting to it. I've pivoted, and now I'm doing a much better job, and things are really coming around. So that's what I got, you guys. This went longer than I thought, but I want to share, a couple of things I've been working on. The power of LinkedIn. I'm blown away by some of the numbers I got just in the last 17 hours or 18 hours. Just crazy. Actually, should we see if it's gone up at all? I'll move this out of the way. All right, let's do a cert or do an update. What do my numbers look like? Okay, so there's no notifications. So no additional stuff. We're still there. What are my analytics now? 2760. And what was it? 2760. 2760. Almost up 100. And then 206, was it 209? It's up to 209. That is just 100 an hour. What? Seriously? It's awesome. So you guys can go on there too. And like I said, next week what I'm going to try to do is actually do some of the request stuff, which is, if I scroll down, I added this. This is the lecture from last week or the week before. I've been commenting on people's stuff. I had added this. I'm probably going to upgrade some of my current work stuff. This was a while ago, so I'll probably upgrade some of my other volunteer things. I need to upgrade this. Projects. That's weird. I can add stuff to that. My volunteering is here. Oh, recommendations. So show all pending. And then if you want one, you can ask for a recommendation. And this is where I can put in key people and then put some other stuff in. Help us personalize your request. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'll probably grab a sample of people from April Air, a sample of people from Whitewater, and then probably people through ASSP, and get some of that and just ask. It'd be a friendly ask. Probably some of the people over here on the right. And then I'll probably, when I've got some of my upcoming meetings and presentations, I'll be adding other stuff. I've got a lot of projects going on. So yeah, I'll be getting that. Oh, the last thing. I know this has gone long. I'm sorry. Next week, I'll be recording next week's lecture, the main part, on Wednesday live. I'm going to invite you all to come. You don't have to, but after it's recorded, I'll post it. We're going to do a presentation I'm going to be giving at a couple state conferences, or actually at a national conference. It's called Selling is Not Telling. And the people I'm going to be presenting with, it's going to be our first practice run. And so you guys get to observe that. So it'll be that, and it'll be some other things, case study related, problem solving related, and LinkedIn related. All right, that went long. Sorry, everybody. Thank you.